was gonna say, I'm Clay. Okay.
No. Hello, I'm Keegan Ferris, and I'm with my good friend Jake Hansen,
Yeah, what's up, guys?
and we're going to be talking about our fandom, EA Rainbow Six Siege, the world's worst game. Um, there's plenty to talk about,
Oh,
and trying our best not to s- just go off.
let's not
But I
say
want
no
to.
no words.
It's gonna be real difficult. Um, but I wanted to start off by like, how did we get into it?
Oh,
I got into Rainbow Six because of the person in the call with me.
yeah, that
Because
might be
they were
my
like,
bad.
"Bro, you should try this game. It's called Rainbow Six." And the rest is history. Now I hate myself.
Now I hate myself. Uh,
But I wanted Jake to explain how he got into it.
Honestly, at the time, so I started off on PC Siege, and I think I just saw it on I probably saw it on TikTok or like on YouTube, and I was just like, "Oh, this looks like a cool strategic game. Let me install it and let me give it a try." Like my first couple games were I
For
almost
like my first
uninstalled it.
games.
Yeah, they were really close to your first games, which is why I had to like
Oh.
keep you in the loop. I was like, "Come on." Keep playing. It'll get better, maybe.
Bro is scheming little dubious actions to get
Hmm.
me in. You
Yeah,
monster.
I am indeed.
And then I know you took a break for a while.
Oh yeah, so I got pretty good at PC Siege, and I was just like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get a life now. So I quit it. I just uninstalled it because I was just like it started to become a problem, and I wanted to focus on school and stuff like that a little bit more. Um, so I just kind of uninstalled it, and then I didn't go back to it until Keegan mentioned to me that he had installed it, and then I was like, "Oh, you installed it?"
What's a uh-oh. Well,
Yeah.
because it was on the Xbox Game Pass, and it was like, whoa, this looks kind of neat.
If only I'd known.
If only.
Um, oh my gosh. But so for this project, I had to do a lot of research on like the history of it. And there's not really a whole lot of history, but I got enough, like when they were first making it,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Like a lot of our knowledge is like more current stuff, but like it's time for our little history lesson.
Yay.
Woo!
Woo.
Um, so this game was in development in January 2013, and then it released December of 2015. Um, right, perfect game for the holidays.
Oh, for
Oh
sure.
my
I'm sure that
God,
was
bro.
actually probably their business plan was to release it on
It
like around Christmas time.
it was December 1st is when it came out. So it was like, oh, plenty of hype. Hey mom, I want this game for Christmas.
Mm.
They love making money, but we'll get into that. So originally, like the development team's first idea for the name was Rainbow Six Unbreakable, which sounds really lame compared to what it is now.
I know because isn't it like it is technically like a siege kind of like siege is like the word that you would use for it. So,
Yeah. Oh, because it was supposed to represent like, oh, the breakable aspect of the game. Rainbow Six Unbreakable. It's like that's really lame. And I'm glad they changed it because I do not think I could play. Bro, you should have seen this clip I hit on Unbreakable. What?
yeah, I don't think people would be talking about it if it was called that, to be honest. So, probably would
I'm
have died off.
right, but for the type of game that it was, the developers were like, "Oh, we can't just do what we know. We got to do extensive research." So they just like went through and studied like a bunch of historic counter-terrorist events. Um, so we had the 1980s London Iranian embassy siege, the 1977's I'm not even gonna pronounce that word, bro.
Real.
It's it's a flight hijacking, which is probably where presidential plane comes from. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
we haven't really
The
even
map.
played on
Yeah.
that map yet, so.
and then 2002's Moscow Theater hostage crisis, and they really just want to get like a good feel of like how would a real hostage situation be, and like how would a real counter-terrorist attack go. So I mean that's pretty cool, right? They even asked the I guess the French version of the SWAT. It's they're called the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. GIGN is their abbreviation.
Mm.
But they are a French police tactical unit that specializes in counter-terrorist actions. So, like hostage rescues, stuff like that. Like they asked them for their professional opinion about like, hey, how would this play out if you were in this situation?
Why did
And they kind of just
they?
implemented that into the game.
Why do you think they asked the French police? Like, because there's
I don't know.
counter.
Well, I don't.
I wonder if that's
Mirror,
I wonder
bro.
if that's where they started off at. Because a lot of these gaming companies are like not inside
Europe.
America. Yeah, stuff like that. So I wonder if that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, or maybe it might be because the French and stuff like that, like the Europeans had like I guess maybe they had more experience with that stuff.
I was
I
gonna
don't
say
know.
the counter-terrorist stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good thought. There are definitely French police operators in the game, like Mira.
No.
So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, there is. You can hear a lot of their voices are like you can tell that they are just
They've got the heavy accent
Yeah.
for where they came from. They just happen to know English.
yeah. Or some of them don't even speak at all. So
Yeah. um, Now, in terms of like developing a theme for the game, one of the most like important parts about the game was its environmental destruction. So there's every map is different, right? But each one has hatches that are part of the floor that drop down to the second. So like let's say you're on the second floor, yeah, a hatch will drop you down to the first floor, and there's soft walls and then non-breaching walls. The soft walls you can like reinforce them, and then all this other stuff. Well, we can get into that for the gameplay loop, whatnot. But a lot of things in the game are breakable, which really ups the tension.
yeah.
Kind of, it involves a lot more like it involves more spatial awareness than anything. Just because it's like, oh, I can't go here because there's a giant hole here, and someone could be looking through that hole. So I got to stay clear of that
Mm.
to really like dumb it down.
Yeah, and I mean the operators and stuff in the game, all of them have abilities that like either open these, hard walls or soft walls or the ceiling or the hatches and stuff like that. And I really think that that's where the game gets its like
It's
the building that's like it's like breakable, like almost everything in it is breakable. And you can get all the angles and stuff. I really feel like that's what makes it so cool because you can outsmart your opponents
that's
that
the
way.
good side, and then on the flip side, it's like, oh, this is bad.
Mm.
And it's not even like the game's bad in the same way that most games are. It's like the graphics are good. It's just, oh my God, we'll get into it. And I wanted to bring this up because according to Ubisoft, the three pillars of this game that they really wanted to emphasize was teamwork, tactics, and tension. Well, only two of those are actually true. And the teamwork one is not a real thing. There's no teamwork involved in this game, bro.
I think there's
I
plenty of tension. Sometimes I want to strangle our teammates.
sometimes I look at my dog and I'm just like, today's your day, bud. I'm sorry. Like
Like
it
this.
is
Oh, it's horrendous.
um but originally when the game first came out, they wanted it to be an esports game. They talked to some German dude who was the head of the esports at the time. Um, and they basically got the green light to like, oh yeah, we can make this an esports team, but yada yada yada. So that's when they developed Ranked, and oh, oh, how fun and miserable Ranked is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there there are plenty of ranks. I don't know how many I got to count on my fingers. But we have copper, silver, bronze, gold, platinum, emerald, diamond, champ. So 8.
Yeah, yeah, you got gold in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
each
think I
one
got it.
has 5 leagues.
Yeah.
So you got copper 4, copper 5, copper 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then after you do that, then you rank up to like silver 5.
Well, and they have changed their rank system a bit because it's on ranked 2.0 now or whatever, and it used to be on ranked like 1.0. Um, I'm pretty sure people liked rank 1.0 better than rank 2.0. Rank 2.0 was supposed to change how like matchmaking and stuff works, so you'd actually go
Okay.
against
Yeah,
so, yeah, so
okay.
you'd actually go against people of your own skill level, but that doesn't really happen. Their matchmaking is really terrible.
Oh my god, it's actually the worst thing. Um, I will say though, it is very cool how diverse the game is in terms of there's plenty of maps. You can never get bored of the same map just because of I like to say just the variety of operators and then obviously being able to break open walls. Like you can't have the same experience on the same map, which is really interesting. So it like there's 24 maps and there's only like what 12 in rotation.
Uh, it might
What's
be
up more?
less than that or more. I'm not really sure. Because the ranked maps are like really the ranked maps are the maps that they actually look at to like
Those
fix
are
and
the
actually
because
make
they're the
them
good
good.
maps.
Right, yeah. The other
Because
maps
they
are
are the good
like
maps.
if you play the other maps you're like what is this? Like cuz the angles on the other maps are weird or like too good. So really the ranked maps are just the balanced maps that they have.
Um, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 maps in the ranked rotation out of the 24 maps available.
Yeah, so I think they switch. It's like one or it's like two or three maps that they switch in and out of the ranked pool to switch between all the other ones. So every season you'll have
Yeah,
new maps basically.
which kind of sucks because you can get good on one map and then
Hmm.
never be able to play it again.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but a little bit of the history. There's not a whole lot to go off of just because it's very standard. Like even the lore within the game isn't very deep. Like it's just kind of like backstories for all the characters, and that's
Hmm.
about it. Um, so yeah, history lesson done.
Woo! I learned
Now it's
so much.
time for the gameplay loop.
The
Woo-hoo.
gameplay loop.
Alright, so there's a lot of strategy involved in this. Um, let's see. I think we should talk about like how to win, how to lose situation first, since I
Hmm.
think that's the most like that's the simplest. Um,
Well,
you win by, well, I guess we never even explained like what Rainbow Six is.
it's a shooter game, first-person shooter, right?
The first-person shooter game. Originally it was retrieve the hostage. Right, you would go in and try and
Hmm.
retrieve the hostage, and that's how you won. But I forget when they did it, but it became a defuse the bomb
Yeah,
game.
so they still have all I think they have three modes, right? So they have one mode where you like capture a point basically. So you just have to stand on it. And then they have the mode where you you take the hostage. So they kept that one in. And then they have the bomb one where you just go in and you plant the bomb. Now the planting of the bomb one is the main one that they use. I think they just kept the other two in.
Just
Just cause,
because,
yeah.
yeah.
Just give it a
About to
little
say, like I've never
variety.
played those game modes, and then they come out with like a different game mode during like each like during like events like Halloween and
Yeah,
stuff like
it's
that.
normally terrible.
Yeah.
About
Um,
2 minutes
but
before I go into that for sure.
but yeah, it is a 5v5. Um, there's attacking and then defending, and you switch to that. So in standard and ranked, it is 3 rounds of each, and then you switch. So you have 3 rounds of attacking, and then you switch on after the 3 rounds. Then you switch to defending, so that everyone can have the same, I guess, chance. I guess.
Hmm.
Um, so the attackers win by killing all of the defenders, or by planting the bomb and getting it, and having the diffuser go off. The defenders win by either killing all the attackers, or by defusing the bomb once it gets planted.
Yeah, literally
So,
the basics of the game right there.
yeah, that is like you can't get more self-explanatory than
I
that.
know,
Like
and
there's,
it sounds so simple, but honestly,
but it's
it's
not.
not. It's not.
Well, you got to consider how there are 0 respawns. So if you die, you just die for the round. Like there's no coming
Right.
back. A headshot is an instant kill, no matter what gun it is. It could be a little pistol headshot, you're done for. So
Hmm. And I mean,
there's that.
really, if you get into it, 74 operators, 37 attacking, 37 defending. I mean, that's where really your strategy, like
And each operator has a
different
different
ability.
like utility,
Yep.
and then they all have different guns too.
Yeah. So it's
Like
and you
some operators may have the same gun, but like you may not usually be able to use the same attachments for it, and like their secondary might be different or something like that.
yeah, that's
So the
that's
variety is definitely there.
that's truly where the strategy and the variety that that's what makes the game complex. Like you have such a simple idea and then you throw in all the operators and then the game is just like open for
Yep.
anything to
And
happen.
then we also got to talk about how you only have 2.5 minutes, right? Is it?
I
No,
think
it's
two and a
like what?
half.
Isn't it?
I think
It might
like
be
if you're on
3.
defense, I think you have like 3, but prep phase or something takes up more. Um, I'm not sure. Yeah, I know you have 2 minutes and 30
Yeah.
seconds sounds about
So it's
right.
yeah. I think it's 3 minutes, right? Because you got the prep phase. Yeah, because it's a 30-second prep phase, and then the round is 2.5 minutes. So, all right.
Yeah.
So it's very. You don't have a lot of time to get where you need to be. So it adds more pressure, especially when you're getting down to like, oh, I have 10 seconds left. It's a 1v1 and I need to plant.
Mm.
Well, uh-oh.
Yeah, you have to decide exactly what you're gonna do. I mean, because if you're in a situation where you have 10 seconds left and you need to plant, if you're planting the bomb, uh,
If you get the plant off, it's good because
right.
then you have a different timer and the round doesn't end, but now you have to wait for the diffuse timer to go off.
Yeah, I don't think we even mentioned that, but once you plant the bomb has a certain timer before it basically blows up or whatever. So the defenders, once you plant, have time to actually defuse. So they have to either kill you or defuse the bomb. But normally they're gonna have to kill you in order to defuse because you once you plant, your whole thing is to defend them from defusing your bomb, basically.
Yeah. And no matter how much time there's left, as soon as the diffuser gets planted, the new timer starts.
Right.
And if you can plant early, that's even better because then it's
Mm.
like, uh-oh, we gotta get this fast.
Then they have real pressure, you know.
Yeah. Um, Now, in terms of attacking and defending, the attackers have a lot of, I mean, they all have different gadgets and abilities, and they're sorted into different categories. So there are hard breachers, soft breachers, intel, map control. Tr I wouldn't really say trappers on attack. There's not really any.
I mean, well, yeah, there might be who shoots air jabs. I forgot.
Nomad?
Yeah, Nomad. Nomad would be considered a trapper because her ability is to
I think
shoot.
that's just area denial.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Flank watch,
Map
basically.
control,
Yeah.
right? But you can do all sorts of things. Repel, you can, and this is the key aspect of like, in terms of aiming, that's completely different, is the fact how you can aim, like you can lean to certain sides,
Hmm.
which hides your, like, it makes it harder for you to see, but you can still see around a corner.
Yeah, that's a big deal in Siege because quick peeks and
Oh,
stuff
dude, it's
like
all
that.
about it's all about peeking around corners and angles.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
and then
yeah,
you want to go?
I was gonna
Sure.
say, so one of the things that you'll see a lot of people mention is Peeker's advantage, which is, it's for attackers, and it because so it gives the attacker the advantage over the defender because of basically how the game, like the game's ping itself. So when an attacker peeks you really quick, the thing is they're gonna see you way before you see them. And so a lot of the time on like kill cams and stuff like that, you'll die and you'll be like, "What? I barely even saw him." Like, but that's the whole peeker's advantage thing. It's I think it's based off ping or just like in general like how the game works. Like
Zim. It's also based on Zim
it's
too,
also
but
based off Zim, which Zim is that is a whole different idea. But yeah, that's a big thing that you'll hear a lot of people talk about, Peeker's advantage and stuff like that. Just gives the attacker the chance to actually kill the defender. Uh, so actually, I think, and this is probably why you see the defender side tends to have more abilities that are kind of what people will be like, oh, well, that's too overpowered. Well, the attacker normally it kind of evens itself out a little bit on that side of things, to be honest.
yeah, okay, bud, sure. You say that. You say that until
Yeah.
you play the game, then you're like, oh, this sucks a lot. Um, but with defending, you have reinforcements. Like everyone, you have 10 reinforcements across the entire team, and you got to really decide like where you want to reinforce because it really does matter.
Yeah.
Um, and all the different ops are completely different. They're really fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I guess, we gotta explain. So drone phase
Oh.
is
Oh,
during
drone
the
phase
30-second prep
is.
phase. So while the defenders are like reinforcing, using their stuff, the attackers get 30 seconds to drone, to use little RC drones and try and find like they gotta find the site
Mm-hmm.
of the bombs at. They gotta find like who, like you can red scan, and that tells you like who's on their team, like what ops are they using.
Yeah.
And during this 30-second prep phase, you are also allowed to switch operators as an attacker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like, oh, they're running this guy. Well, I'm gonna switch to counter it. With defenders, as soon as you select your defender and the round starts, you don't get to switch out of it. Like it is set in stone which you choose.
Yeah, and I mean that brings up another good point that kind of adds that bigger theory to the game is like all around the maps you're gonna have cameras. Basically the type of camera you would see in a school hallway. So you're
Oh,
gonna have
we'll talk
yeah.
about
So
that.
you're gonna have a
We'll talk
whole
about
bunch of
that.
cameras. There's certain operators that give you cameras, and so the attackers they're so during drone phase they have one drone. They drone around, and what you want to do is really keep that drone alive because intel is the biggest thing in this game. So you really don't want your drone to be shot by the defender because then you lose that intel. But every attacker has basically two drones: the one that you use in drone phase, and then the one you have an extra
You get
one
one at the
after.
start of the
Yeah.
round. So, right. In terms of defenders, they're really fun. I think it really depends on the site and what map you're on, but I think
Yeah.
but most time defending is more fun, just because I wouldn't say there's more variety, but like you're not gonna have two of the same type, like the exact type of people in terms of like utility. So for example, there's a hard. Let's say there's a hard breacher named, I guess like Thermite, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a gadget that goes through hard wall or like reinforced walls, and it makes a really really big hole, right? Well, a lot of characters for their for their gadget or like second utility, not like their main thing, they can run hard breach charges, which pretty much does the same thing just as a much much smaller hole. So it's like, and plenty of characters have those hard breach charges, but and like their main gadget ability isn't. Some of them aren't really the greatest. So, but the Fenders, on the other hand, all of their main things are completely different, and that's kind of why I like it more. Like my main person I run on defense is her name is Valkyrie, and she just has little cameras that she can throw. She has 3 cameras that she can put anywhere,
Hmm.
and they're really really nice for intel. There's also someone named Mew who has jammers that can block this signal and prevent drones from like working or just any gadget from working.
Yeah, so if you put it on a hard breach or a hard wall, it'll prevent people from using those hard breaches to actually get into the wall. It just blocks the jammer, which then like opens you up to people who can counter that. Like if they have a
Yep. And then we got anti-breach people, but
yeah,
like there's a guy named Cade there and there's one named Bandit. Each one electrifies a hard wall. Um, Cade has these little like knife type things that he throws, and then Bandit has car batteries that he just sticks on a wall, and then
that's
it just
funny
electrifies it.
because that's how that
um,
works.
it's literally a car battery. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. And then we have trappers like Capkin, and then Frost is really nice. Frost, she just has a bear trap that she just puts down, so if you step on it, it's really not good.
Yeah.
Capkin literally just has explosives if you walk through a door or window.
Mm-hmm.
I, but I just feel like it's just more fun, for the game. I will say though, the big thing is that most defenders don't have access to ACOGs or like better scopes
So
compared to
1.5.
the attackers. So they have a 1.5, a 2 times, and then is it two and a half, or is it another 2
It might be
times?
3 times.
Oh no, it's gross, whatever it is.
It is, yeah. It's horrendous. I wouldn't use it, but some people do use it. It just depends, honestly, on what
If it was a tap gun, maybe,
like
but I
what
don't
your
know. It's
plan
still,
is in that map. Like if your plan is to
it's
spawn
still
kill,
gross.
like yeah,
Yeah. Ugh, it's gross.
real.
Right. The learning curve for the game, very steep. If you do not have anyone to teach you or like help you through it, you probably won't be able to get into it
Yeah.
unless you're like determined to get better. And like determined or like you can't you're the type of person to be like, I can't let this stop me. Like I have to get better.
I mean, or you have a friend that forces you to play the game until you get
Yeah,
addicted to
yeah,
it.
mm-hmm.
My bad.
No,
Whoopsie.
uh-oh. It's actually so unhealthy for you. It's
It
bad.
it
But
is
like
bad.
the learning curve is steep, but once you pass the learning curve, it's like you can get better. The
Mm.
only, for example, me and my homeboy here, I would say we're bad at the game. We know everything. We know how to play. We just can't aim to save our lives, and that's the only thing stopping us.
Yeah, honestly, we do know the game. I do believe that
I
we
know
we
I know
we
the
we
game a little
make
too
bad
well.
decisions sometimes. Like everybody makes bad decisions, and it's all about learning from those bad decisions, right? And then building off of that to become better at the game. But yeah, a big aspect between us is if we had better aim, we would be a lot better. But also, if we had more people to play with, because if you're really thinking about it, there's 2 of us and 3 random teammates. So how good are those three
Yeah,
random teammates? Like who are you getting, you know?
and
yeah,
without being able to communicate with them, it makes it a lot harder for things
yeah,
too, because the amount of times that like you're holding this angle, you're holding this door, and there's not that much time left, and then your teammate stops holding their angle to come look at yours for no reason. That that is bad.
yeah.
A
It's
lot of
that's
a
awful.
lot of people, they want just a good KD
Hmm.
when Siege isn't about a KD ratio, it's about win or loss. Because especially in ranked, you don't get extra points for getting like a higher KD. You get the points for winning, and that's it.
Right. And I mean, Katie, kill to death ratio. So how many times you die compared to your amount of kills, which is actually what some people really want higher KD, like he said, which just basically means they're gonna go for more kills, which pushing people is good, but it's also bad.
It depends on the situation. So
Right.
you can push. Pushing's only good if you have like people who can back you up. Most of the time, they just rush in without any support or assistance, and then they blame the people around them for not assisting them when they rushed in for no reason.
Hmm. And I mean,
Alright.
I think that's
Every
also
Ash main, pretty much.
yeah, literally every Ash main, which is kind of what makes Siege once again a really cool game, is the fact that you don't have to win a game by having good aim, or you don't even have to win by like you can win by just
Killing
outsmart.
anyone.
Yeah, like you just
You could
outsmart
win
them.
by going zero, like going like
Yeah, like,
neutral,
and
like
that's because
no
of the
kills.
operators. Really, like they have
Yeah.
certain skills that can help you win by not actually killing anybody, and that's where it gets really cool. Be-
Um, Another thing is the level of sound cues as well,
oh Lord.
and how much like because you could be holding this angle, but then, uh-oh, what's this I hear? Light footsteps coming from like roughly behind me. You turn around, uh-oh, there's a guy, and then you just and he's dead because
Right.
you heard him.
You heard him, and I mean, yeah,
This game is all about sound cues too.
and it gets
Like it
crazy.
is
Like the sound cues are insane. Like there's vaulting sound cues. There's like crouching sound
walking,
cues,
getting
walking,
going
running,
prone.
and it all changes based off how where the person's coming from. So like the angles of the walls or like holes in walls will allow for certain sounds to go through those walls, and so
Yep.
you'll hear it, and it's really weird the way it sounds. And if you get really good at hearing people, basically you have the ultimate map control because you're just gonna know when you're being flanked because you're gonna hear them.
Yeah, I will say though, the hardest part about sound cues is when you're on stairs between two floors.
Oh, that's horrendous. That I don't even know what that is about because for the life of me, I cannot tell if they're above me or
It's
below me.
very, very hard to tell if where the sounds are coming from because no matter what floor they're on, it sounds the same regardless if you're just sitting on the stairs.
Hmm.
So yeah. Now, Jake, I think we've discussed
I,
like the game and
yeah,
stuff
I would say.
enough, right?
I would say
It's
so.
right, and then I guess another there's a little addition is like on how you can't have the same game
Hmm.
is obviously just different operators switching between them or just having a different experience because you're going against a different set, like a different combination of defense offs or something like that.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's really fun, but we are about to talk why it's not fun
Why it's
and get into our complaints about the game.
oh so many, so many.
God awful teammates.
Yeah,
I cannot stress this enough. It,
I honestly
I almost feel like there should be like a test or like a license that you have to get in order to play ranked, bro. Oh my god.
like
It's
respectfully though, it's
not
bad.
respectfully. They're terrible. They're actually the worst. 8 consecutive ranked games in a row being lost because of our teammates. I I'm going to disembowel someone, bro. I swear.
It is pretty bad. That's what I was talking about. Like, there's only two of us and three random teammates, and I'm telling you, those three teammates have to be little Timmy from fourth grade who does not know mathematics yet. Like I, I don't know who I'm playing with, but they're
I
not
think
there.
my dog can do better.
I
Like that is,
I'm on board with that. I actually dog esports team is coming up right now. It's in.
but it's astounding to me how someone can do certain actions, and it's crazy. And it's I'd accept a bad teammate as long as they played a good operator, because then it's like, okay, at least their utility is useful. But no, all of these people like to play as we consider useless operators, or operators who aren't good because they're never in a good situation. For example, we have a defense character named Doc.
Mm.
And in practical use, he can be really good, but no one uses him the way that they should. So, so his ability is a little stem pistol. So let's say you get knocked down and you are bleeding out. He can use his stem pistol to revive you. Or let's say you're low on health. He can use the same stem pistol to give you a boost to your health
Mm-hmm.
and give you more. But no one uses them for that. They
No,
all use the stem for themselves.
they're greedy.
So already their utility's out for the rest of the team. So they're not benefiting anything from the team. And then most of the time, they don't even like to reinforce or do anything. They like to sit there
Oh yeah.
and waiting for the round to start.
So Doc doesn't actually have any like placeable abilities, like you said, his stem to heal people and stuff like that, basically. So Doc should technically be reinforcing soft walls so people can't breach into them. But a lot of the time, you'll either see your teammates being AFK or just I don't exactly
Just
understand it, but they're like running in a circle without doing anything.
I don't get it. Or if they're playing someone like Cav, for example, Cavera is someone who, in terms of the game, is actually really good because her ability allows her to full sprint but not make any sound whatsoever. Which, in a game all about sound cues, is really, really important. So, they are what we consider roamers, who roam around the map and trying to sneak up on people and get them from behind or something like that. But most Cav players will just start roaming before the round starts, during prep phase, when that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
And then
maybe
there's
it
like,
tricks the attackers to think you're on a different floor. Like, but probably not.
and then there's operators like who you could use well, but they're just not that good, and you could probably use someone better. Like
Hmm.
there's a guy named Pulse who has a camera who can see heartbeats, but in practice, it's not really that good.
He's only used by
Uh,
wall hackers.
yeah, and that's another thing too about the game is you could shoot through soft walls, and that can be good or bad depending.
Hmm.
Um, that's why reinforcing is so big, is because that basically makes it so like unless someone breaches it, which you can hear through the wall, you know that your side is covered because it's reinforced,
Hmm.
right? Um, Playing on console has its major disadvantages, especially because people have learned that they can get a certain thing and plug in their keyboard and mouse
Oh,
into the Xbox, so it still
Zim,
counts as
bro.
playing on Xbox,
It's
but yet
terrible.
they're just on keyboard and mouse, which doesn't make it any fair for the console players.
Yeah, and so like Zim basically is just like I actually think I don't know if Zim does this, but I know that it allows you to plug your mouse and keyboard into your Xbox, which is already a disadvantage against any. I mean, because controller versus a PC player is the PC player is
Uh,
gonna win.
And recoil too is the big
Yeah,
one
I don't know if
because
Zim I don't know if it's Zim or something else that you plug in, but either way, there's something you can plug in that just like basically it learns the recoil pattern of the gun, and you don't have recoil. And it's outrageous because some of the guns have crazy recoil, that you have to like learn, and it's really hard to control, especially
But
hard to
once you get
control.
rid of that, it's really
Yeah.
stupid.
I mean, then the game's just easy. So I really don't understand why people do that because how's the game fun at that point? Like, but I
Right?
don't know. People are people.
Yeah, and this game for some reason puts holes in my walls. Like
Oh,
one day they're there, and then like after 8 ranked losses, I just look and there's several holes in my wall. I don't know how they got there, but they're just there,
yeah, that is the
right?
game is very
But
frustrating. That is for sure.
oh, that's an understatement.
Uh-huh.
Another a really big complaint is every single season they say, "Hey guys, we're upping our anti-cheat," and yet they don't
No, they
end up
never do.
upping their anti-cheat.
They say it
And
every
it's
season too.
yeah, and it's it's bad too because you can always tell that someone's cheating, but when like when you try and like bring up evidence or proof, they can just be
Hmm.
like, "Oh no, bro, I'm just good at the game," and
Really?
like, "Oh no, I was listening to the sound cues." And this is the most obvious when it comes to people using walls and being able to see through walls because
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, I was prone in a corner for the start of the round and I wasn't moving and they didn't drone out. How? And then you watch the kill cam and they just walked in the room and then just immediately locked onto you and then they move
Yeah.
on with their day. It's like, I don't know, man. But Ubisoft's anti-cheat isn't very good.
Yeah, it's terrible. Um,
Yeah.
and honestly, they probably their servers are ran by Potato as well. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's another really big thing is how their servers could crash and you could get kicked out of a game and then it won't let you rejoin that game because the servers are down.
Mhm.
And like
You'll get a
then
temporary
you get a
ban.
ban
Yeah.
for leaving the match.
It's like a, is it an, it might be an hour ban or something like that or more. I don't
I think
know.
it depends. In ranked it's an hour, but I think in standard it's 30 minutes.
Yeah, and it's awful because like how is that your fault? So why are they banning people who get kicked out and then rejoin? Or at least are attempting to rejoin, like, but that's
Yeah.
just how Siege is.
Oh my
One
gosh,
of the fun
it's
aspects of the game right there.
know what else is a really fun aspect? Getting after a hard fought battle, you see this little percentage go up, and you've been rewarded with an alpha pack
Oh my
just to open it
gosh.
and get a green.
Yeah, so alpha packs are basically they're basically the gambling aspect of the game. Um,
Yeah,
but it's
but
funny because I learned the other day. So you get your pack and you tear it open and you get a gun skin, a skin for one of the characters, stuff like that. So you're like, oh, I can get a gold one, and well, I'll be super cool. When you get your pack, it it is already chosen what you're going to get from that pack. So it's like you can't save up packs and then get a skin that came out that comes out that's newer. No, you can't because you've already chosen what you're gonna get.
hmm
I mean,
and the
yeah.
worst part is how you get stuff for characters you don't have unlocked yet.
Hmm.
So that's like, uh-oh, great, I just got this legendary, super cool, but I don't have the character, and I don't have enough renown to get the character. Which renown is basically like in-game currency that you get at the end of every match.
Hmm.
Um, and that's how you unlock more characters. You can either just straight up buy them with real money, or you just play enough matches to unlock them all with renown, which is the
Yeah,
better way.
but we refuse to support this game, so.
Yeah. Right. But it's worse too because as like let's say I got this gun skin, right? You can still get it again in the pack. Like it doesn't get removed from the loot pool. It's still there. So you can get duplicates of everything, which is even more annoying because you could be playing the game forever and never get the thing you want because you keep getting duplicates
Hmm.
over and over. So the reward system is just bad.
Yeah.
Like it's just not good. The battle pass is even worse. Like it is very rare for a good battle pass. Like every season there's a new battle pass and they come out with a new op and the new operator is like the main point of the battle pass and so you get the battle pass, you get the new op and some of the skins and like weapon skins are good, Most
So,
of the time, they're really, really bad.
yeah.
And like this season, I think there's only like one good skin.
Yeah, I actually don't think they put any work into the battle passes, which is, I
No, most
mean,
of the time when the new skin drops, it's like a reskin.
yeah, they love to reskin. The
It's
big thing,
like a recolor.
the big thing in these bigger industries is they take a skin and they just change the color and they charge more for it or something like that, which is not, I mean, that doesn't, who would want to buy that? But the thing is if people are buying, I guess people are buying it because they keep doing it. Like, I don't know. But it's like it's a way that they put
And
like as they don't put any work into their game is what it feels like. And as a gamer or a player of that game, you're just like, why do I want to keep playing this game if they're not putting any work into it? Like, why would I want to play it? You know?
yeah, I think for us it's because the thought like, man, we could have done that better, and we got to get better.
Yeah. So you and me, we have to get better. Like that's the issue. Is for us is we don't have other people, so we as a whole have to get better extremely fast in order to rank up or in order to just enjoy the game. We have to be really good at it.
It's pretty much a 2v5 every ranked
Every
game.
round, yep. Every round is basically
Every
2v5.
round is pretty much a 2v5 with glorified movable shields
Yeah.
that aren't even the shield characters, which the shield characters
Oh
is another
god.
big complaint.
Don't even.
The shield
Oh
characters
my.
are terrible.
Why in a shooting game did they decide to add characters that could hide behind a shield that don't die if they get a grenade thrown at them or
So,
like holy
there's
moly.
on attack, there's technically 4 shield ops if you use them right, but only 2 main shield ops. There's Montang, who has a giant deployable shield that can encircle his entire body. So that's really annoying to go against. But then
Yeah.
there's another one. His name is Blitz.
Oh,
And he is the worst because he not only has a shield, which is terrible to go against genuinely, but his shield can also blind you because it has a glorified flashbang attached to it.
Hmm.
And so he could just be running at you. You're panicking because you're like, I can't kill him. And then, uh-oh, your eyes are gone because he blinded you. And next thing you know, you're watching a kill cam. Like,
and your real life eyes are also gone because when you get flashed, oh my gosh, it makes
It's
your
so
screen
bright.
so bright.
your entire screen goes stark white, and it ups. I swear to God, it ups your brightness of your your
I-
TV
It
screen,
probably
bro.
does. It has to.
Like it's literally like, bing, ah.
I can't see.
It is actually bad.
It's ridiculous.
Um, yeah, skill based matchmaking doesn't exist. It's not a real thing.
Nope, definitely not a thing.
It's definitely apparent too in ranked when you see people's banners,
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, we are in silver 5 at this point, right? We're in silver 5, and on the enemy team they have a banner from the previous season of a rank that's really really high up.
Hmm.
That is not fair.
Yeah, you'll have like
They are
Emerald
not-
or Champ.
It's like they are not in the same skill level as us. There's no way.
Right.
And,
crazy.
I think the last real complaint is obviously we need to take a break from it,
Hmm.
which is good. But for example,
We're gonna be playing it today.
Yeah, we're gonna be back on it. We've taken
I
like a
already
week
know.
break, and I know we're gonna hop back on.
Yeah,
But the crazy
it's-
thing is it with the gameplay loop because we haven't played it for so long. The game will put us in the beginning. Will put us against easier opponents.
I hope so. I hope so.
No,
Bro.
no,
I don't wanna
because
lose 8 more
sometimes
rounds of
sometimes we
rank.
actually go into like we'll stop playing, go back into another round, and it'll put you against champions, and you'll just be like,
What?
you'll just quit it again. You will actually just back to the home.
And even if you play, even when you play it for long enough, it gets to a point where you'll be walking in school, and you'll see one of the cameras, and then you'll start tweaking because it's like, uh-oh, camera, I'm getting red ping.
Yeah, like
Or like some doors have like really weird locks, and like you walk in and you see and you think it's like it's a Capcan mine, bro.
yeah,
Or I
proximity.
I think the worst one is like I was chilling in English class, reading a book. It was completely silent, and I swear on my life I heard a proximity alarm go off somewhere.
Gosh.
It was really faint. That is when you know you have a problem. When you're looking
That
at the
is.
school cameras like they're the same cameras, and you're like, oh, I gotta get rid of them or else I'm gonna get red scanned. Like And hearing proximity alarms, like that is not healthy.
It's not a joke anymore. At that point, you're like,
I have a problem.
I reckon we get into the theories,
Yeah, the final two.
the final
Right.
two. Yeah.
Now, I have two theories for the game. Say what you will about it, but I think it's either one, they're trying to get the people who play it to understand like real like military tactics, and so that way when they get drafted, can recall like, oh, I remember peeking around a corner in Siege. Let me just do the same thing, and it works. Right? They're just preparing people for the draft, or they're trying to get people to find true happiness within their life. I cannot stress this enough. The amount of like videos and just general memes of things like, "Oh, your life after Siege, life when I stopped playing Siege," and it's like the most beautiful sceneries you'll ever see. Because this game makes you hate yourself and hate everything around you
Hmm.
so much, is that when you finally break free of it, when you finally stop touching the game forever, you're just like, man, I'm really appreciating my life more. Like I appreciate what I'm doing with it now that I've stopped playing Siege,
Yeah.
and I can actually do more with it. Like that they are either trying to get as much money as possible and develop military tactics into the people, or trying to get as much money as possible while also trying to get their people to stop playing their game and find happiness. Those are the two
Yeah.
theories. Like it is all about like the people playing it, and Ubisoft is just
Yeah.
horrendous.
I mean, those theories make sense, honestly. Like I would use real life. I would probably use siege tactics in real life situation.
I don't know, man. The peeking around corners,
Yeah.
droning
Although
around,
you
the drone
definitely,
phase,
I don't think
droning out.
you can't reinforce in real life. So,
No,
uh,
but droning out though.
bro's gonna try to attach a car battery to something metal.
I'm gonna attach a car
Electrocute
battery to just some random wall and shock myself in the process.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a little remote control car and be like, guys, it's drone phase.
It's drone phase, guys. It's drone. Proceeds to get shot.
Learn how to use a CCTV camera for like a security job as like red
Yeah.
scan. Be like, bro, I'm yellow pinging them right now. Why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you peeking?
But yeah,
Oh my gosh, bro. But nah, your life is actually so much better when you
it
stop playing Siege.
it is like I don't know why, but Siege is just bad. Like it's good, but it's bad. Like
It's an unhealthy addiction.
yeah, and
Like
I mean
we I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that, but we are definitely like addicted to Siege. Like we always go back to it,
yeah,
and then even when we take a break from it, we always just end up like even when we get super pissed on about it, like we could probably like let's say for example, yesterday we played it for the whole day, we got super pissed and got off, and then we play it the next day.
yeah.
Like
Basically, we come back and we're
it
like, we're
is,
gonna do better this time. We don't.
and then it's a very unhealthy mindset. To be like I hate myself. I hate doing this over and over,
Yeah, it's
but I can't stop playing it. Like
it's the game company's fault. Ubisoft is terrible. Like they're money hungry. They just everything they do is for money and not for the actual enjoyment, like to make the players happy to enjoy the game. Like games that focus on that, they tend to make, in my opinion, way more money than games that are just money hungry. But
yeah, I mean I think a good example of that was Lethal Company, right? It
yeah,
was $10 and they were the per guy wasn't very money hungry.
yeah,
It was a single dude who made that entire game, and so many people played it.
yeah. He I mean, and he definitely made big money. And then the question becomes for me is like it probably wouldn't have blown up if it was more money than $10. Like because that's why you played it. You said, "Hey, bro, it's only $10," and then
It's like $10 isn't that much,
right.
especially when you start working.
And I believe
It's
they're
like,
still
hey gang,
updating that too.
yeah. But the thing with most games like that is that it dies off.
Yeah, the
Um,
smaller
that's why
companies
like
die
mods.
off.
That's why people use mods, right, and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
Siege,
Mm.
won't ever die off. I'm so sad about it too.
Well, actually, so the company is in terrible right now. So their stock has dropped like really bad. They're at like three. I think they might be even lower than that. They're around like the $2 and something cents mark. I don't know what they initially were, but their stock has dropped massively because people are just selling because shareholders are freaking mad that you know their games that they're releasing and stuff like that are just not making what they should be making. Like if they spend $200 million on making a game and don't make that money back, obviously the shareholder is going to be like, "Where's the money that I'm giving you going? Like, what are you using this on?" Like if you give them money and you go make Rainbow Six better, and then the game is exactly the same, and people are still complaining about it, you're like, why did I give you the money? Why did I give you money and then the battle pass has three skins in it that are recolored? Like what? Why? What are you doing with it?
They're
Um,
preying on their own downfall,
they
bro. I
are, yeah.
swear.
And I'm actually hoping that they get bought out by a bigger company. I'm not sure how that would work, but I hope that they do, and hopefully it makes Rainbow Six better because of it. But we'll see if their stocks go back up. But
I
I
don't
doubt
think
they
Rainbow
will.
Six can go away. It's just too unique in the
Yeah,
sense that,
it really is too
like,
unique. Streamers have brought it back, because it
yeah,
did
it was a
technically
big when we
die.
started playing, there was a big resurgence of it too.
Yeah, I think, which is actually pretty cool. I really like it when people are able to bring back these smaller
Damn you,
these
Team
games.
C.
On God, though, like, please, why?
But I think that's all
I
for
think that's
today.
everything. Yeah, we went over history, our likes, our
Why we
dislikes,
hate
the
it, why
game,
we like it.
everything. Yeah, that was pretty good.
You know,
10 out
I
of
think it
10.
was pretty good. I I give it a 10 out of 10. Do not. Oh, before we end it, I wanted to. There was another thing. One of my favorite things about the game is going on the Xbox or like the Microsoft store and looking at the reviews for it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is it is so much fun looking at the reviews and what people are saying about it. Oh man, it is
Yeah,
an absolute treat.
it is. It truly is.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. So I wanted to have that be a final send off.
Hmm.
But I think we're good.
I do think so, yeah.
Hmm